Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Cafdil Healthcare here on Cafdil Television. I hope you are all doing well, just as I am fine. Cafdil Healthcare really care about your well-being. So today we're going to discuss malnutrition in children. Most of the children don't get what they need to grow with. And so is it because their parents don't get enough time for them, or they don't feed them well? When it happens like that, what are the future consequences on these children? This and many more is what we're going to discuss today here on Cafdil Television. My name is Kojo Arthur, and I'm here with Mabel Mensah and Philomena Amoisi. They are dietetic intern at Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Ladies, you are welcome.
Thank you.
You're looking so beautiful.
Thank
Growing
you.
up, you ate well. I
Sure.
can consider. And I'm hoping that you would also follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. Facebook is Cafdil Cape Coast, and on YouTube is Cafdil EDU. That is Cafdil Edu. Follow us and subscribe and share. Leave your comment, and certainly we'll read them for you. To start with, let me start with you, Philo. When we talk about this malnutrition, we've been hearing this, and so, but before that, do we have more malnutrition in adults?
Oh yes, we have malnutrition in adults.
Is it the same thing as in children?
Yes and no.
And what are the differences?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say hi to all your viewers and then listeners. The yes for the malnutrition in adults and then children is that for adults we calculate their BMI to know their BMI categories, and for children too we calculate their BMI. But then with children, their malnutrition is like it's the same thing. There are some nutrients that they don't have, and for adults there are some nutrients that they don't have. But just the difference, the known aspect is that adults are adults. Children are children.
So now let's concentrate on children. When we say malnutrition in children, what do we mean?
Okay, so when we say malnutrition in children, we mean that the nutrients or the requirements, the vitamins that the children need to grow up very well, they don't get it. So when a child, growing up, a child needs some nutrient for the child to develop the brain, the heart, the whole body system. So then if the child doesn't get these nutrients, or if the child gets more than what he or she requires, then we say the child is malnourished. So this brings me to an aspect where the child is being malnourished can mean that the child is overnourished or undernourished. So when the child is overnourished, then that means that the child has gotten too much of what he or she requires. When the child is undernourished, that means that the child has got less than what he or she requires.
So the two, whether up or low, that
they
is
are all malnutrition.
Okay. But so how is the state, the malnourished state in central region? I don't want to go global. Let's concentrate, because we are in central region.
Okay.
I want us to concentrate on central region.
Okay.
If possible,
malnutrition, being overnutrition or undernutrition, it has three main states. So we have stunting, that is low height for age, and we have wasting.
Low height.
Low height for age. So we expect that if the child is like 2 years, we expect the child to be at a certain height. And the child is not at that height, then we say the child is stunted.
Then what is that?
And then we have underweight. That one too, when the child is at a certain age, the child is expected to be at a certain weight. So that is why there's a need to go for weighing. That's why we say send your child, because ideally you should send the child for weighing for 5 good years. But then in this our era, like when a child gets 1 year, 2 years, then the mother stop. And then we have wasting. That is when the child's weight doesn't correspond with the height. So we expect that if the child is this age, the child should be at this height and the child should be at this weight. So if the height and the weight are not corresponding, they will say the child is wasted. Yes, please.
Hey, then the weighing, it has so many things.
Weighing has so many important.
Which means if you don't go for that weighing,
you will not know whether your child is stunted, wasted, or underweight.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me go to Mabel. What is the primary cause of this malnutrition in children?
Okay, there are a lot of causes. We have the medical aspect, but before I continue, I would like to say hello to our audience. Thank you for watching us. We have a lot of causes for it. We have it when children are not taking enough energy. Some too, they take it and it's more than enough. Some of them too, it's not like they don't have the food available, but then the knowledge to apply when it comes to the amount they should give. How many times should I give in a day? Within the day that I'm giving, whatever I'm giving to my child, the food content, what am I supposed to add? What am I going to give next? With correct timings, we find our mothers or fathers also making a mistake with that. And some of them too, they don't have the food available. And with the little they have, they don't have the adequate knowledge how to modify it and give it to their children. Some of them too, medically, they are not well. So when somebody is not well, it also affects the person, how the person takes in food too. So we have the nutritional aspect, we also have the medical aspect. As I said, the nutritional aspect is either the person is taking too much, too little, or it's available, but how to modify it and then give it to their child to meet their child's energy requirements, the parent is not getting it right.
Wow. So how does this malnutrition impact a child's physical and cognitive development? How does it impact the two?
So when we take a child, we are expecting that even right from the womb, at when we take first trimester, we are assuming the child should go to a certain point.
That is from 1 to 3 months?
No, right from the womb.
Okay.
Yes, then to the second trimester. By third trimester, that means the child should be fully going to come out, right? Good, so that's the physical aspect. So when the child comes out, we are expecting that the child should be increasing in weight, in height. When you look at the child physically, the hair should be growing. We have physical findings we do. We look at your hair, the color of your hair, how full your hair is, even on your head. You come to the skin and everything. So we are looking at you from head to toe. And when you come to the cognitive aspect, we're looking at how attentive the child can be when the child is in school, or even when you are talking to the child, how the child can concentrate very well, can learn very well, can even use the brain very well. So if we have difficulties, or we come and the child is undernourished or overnourished, it does affect them. As my sister said, she talked about the stunting, the wasting, and underweight. So with these three, when you come and we look at you, we make our assessment, we will find it for the physical findings, and the cognitive, as time goes on, you yourself, even the parents, you get to know. But some of them assume like the child is not intelligent, but because the child didn't get that right amount of nutrients right from the go, it's going to affect the child. Yes.
So even if you are pregnant and you don't eat well, it also affects the child
very
in the
much.
womb.
Studies have shown that children who were breastfed for 6 months have higher IQ than children who were not breastfed for 6 months, from World Health Organization. Before you come and ask me where I got my information from. Yes.
So you have to add it,
yes,
because you have to prove your statistics.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. So 6 months, that's what you called
exclusive breastfeeding. So it starts from day one. The mother's health to when the child comes out, it just starts from day one, when the child is even conceived. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Then parents, especially the pregnant woman, you should take this very well, because some people, some ladies, when they are pregnant, they say they feel like eating shiro.
Yes.
Some eat is
Sand.
it clay, sand and
PCAF.
stuff?
Yeah.
It's called PCAF.
Does it? Oh, okay. So does it have impact on that, and how does it affect the child in the womb?
It affects us in so many ways. So whatever you are taking in, the body is going to use it. So whatever you are taking in, if it doesn't have benefits, it should have an effect. Yes. So if you are taking in fruits, you know that when you take fruits, it's a protective thing. It's going to immune booster. When you eat the nutrients in the fruit is going to help extract it, give it to the body. When we take proteins, it is body building food. So when you are eating protein, you know that when it comes to muscles, you growing with physical development is going to do that. When it comes to energy giving food, we have our carbohydrates and healthy fats. With that one, you know that, okay, I'll get the energy to go by my day-to-day activities. So if you are putting it in, you know this is what I am getting for putting it in. But if you are eating sand, you are eating clay, you are eating any other stuff that when you put in your system, it's not going to have a benefit to you. It's going to give you an effect. And we know, for us, we know that when you take the clay and the sand, it decreases your iron. Yes, please. So you will not get in that, because when you are pregnant, you'll be pushing, we are also pushing iron. So if you are eating that thing, it's also decreasing your iron nutrients in you, and we don't want it like that.
All right, that is good to hear, because some of them they say they feel like vomiting, and so when they eat that, it seizes the vomit and stuff, and so if it decreases the iron, then you have to stop eating it, no matter what the situation. All right, so let me come to you, Philo. With this, when a child is malnourished, what are the common signs and symptoms that will indicate or show that this child is malnourished?
Okay, as Mabel was saying, that when you come, we do nutrition-focused physical findings. So some of the signs and symptoms that we'll see, your hair. Most of the children, their hair become brown, scanty, kind of curly. Be like, which you curl. So most of the time, like when it is brown and it is brittle too, it's likely the child is malnourished. And you can see most of the time too, the child will be so slim. Like you can see that the child is so skinny. You're looking at yourself. The child is so skinny. Most of the children too, they will have protruding, but like we call kwashiorkor. Most of the kwashiorkor children.
I think that is so common.
That's so common.
Common to identify.
Yeah, they are malnourished. They have flat buttocks. You can see the children, their buttocks. Their buttocks is so flat. You can see their skin. I mean, when you see someone, you're like, this child is really fed well. This child is not really fed well. So physically, you can see them. And some of the children too, they become so cold. Then they become to fall sick. And now, there's this issue. These are all signs of malnutrition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But is there something particular where parents and caregivers can really identify that this child is malnourished?
That one, I give it to my Mabel.
So initially we said going for weighing.
Yes.
So when you start weighing, you will see the growth pattern. So when you come and you are being weighed, you are being checked, your height is being checked, height or length is being checked, you are being weighed, you know that, okay, this month when I came, my child's weight went up, but this month it had dropped. So when you come for weighing, we will see how the growth pattern is going. If it's going well, we will let you know. If it's not going well too, we will let you know. If you have to do any referral, we just refer you to it. Then you also see the child's appetite. You know that my child has a normal appetite, but then for a while your child doesn't want to eat. You're giving your child food, the child doesn't like it, and you have to find ways, prove further, and know why your child is not eating well. Then physically, your child is plumpy, your child looks okay, but all of a sudden your child keeps on losing weight. Your child is just losing weight, is just quiet. You also find out from your child, or you send your child to the hospital to find out what is wrong with your child. So you take notes when it comes to your child eating. Then when you go for weighing, you get to know the growth pattern of your child. some parents have scales, weighing scales at home, so they weigh their children at home themselves. So they help them. Okay, today my child has gained weight, or today it decreased. Maybe my child was sick. So with that, it will help you. Appetite, going for weighing, looking at your child physically. Is my child gaining weight? Yes, please.
But some of the parents don't know or cannot read, especially when you give them that weighing book. This thing, they cannot. They just pick it, go home, sleep, and stuff. How do you communicate with them after weighing? Do you do that?
So it doesn't end there. When you start antenatal, they start education. They educate you on everything. So you not being able to read is not a barrier.
Okay.
Yes. When you come to, we discuss with you in our local dialects. So if you don't understand anything, you come for weighing, or you come for antenatal clinic, and you come for your child welfare clinic, and you come and you don't understand anything, you have to approach the health personnel, and the person would go on with you, find what is wrong, and explain to you. So immediately you start your antenatal clinic, your child welfare clinic, we do education. We use the book to do education, and we tell you that if you go home and you forget something, and you have somebody who can read, give it to the person. Let the person read it for you too. Those who can read is a plus, but it's funny to say that those who can read end up not reading the book. Yes. But those who can't read sometimes even try. But as I said, when you are pregnant, you start your antenatal clinic, counseling starts. They start doing education throughout, right from medication to nutrition.
Philo, you made mention of weighing skill. No, you made mention of skill. I was tempted to ask you a question, which is not here. But so when a child is 2 years, what weight do you expect? When a child is 5 years, what weight do you expect? If you have that in mind.
So we have guidelines we use to set or know how much a child should weigh. So when you come and we look at you, we have guidelines. When we check your weight and your height and your age with everything we have, then we look at that guideline. So then we put you in that position that, okay, at this point your child is okay. At this point the child, we have lines, basically the red, yellow, green. So when you're in a red line, meaning that you are in danger.
Okay.
Yellow line means you are moderate, you are okay, not okay. Green light, you are good to go. But even with the green light, when you pass a certain mark, that means you are over. So when we started,
over
we said
green.
Yes. When we started, we talked about under and over. So it's both under and over. So when you're in a red light, we know. When you're in the green light, we know, and we know how best we can help you.
So
with
not
that.
necessarily the figure.
Not because the figure, every child has everyone have a body type. Our body types are different. So if I am to say that at 2 years your child should be weighing 15 kilograms, then you are not 15. Come, like everybody is different. Somebody can be weighing maybe 15, but the person is okay. Yes.
All right. Now, in our setting, socioeconomic plays a major role in our setting. Some parents cannot even feed for 3 times. But I want to know the how or what role do this socioeconomic play in child malnutrition, Philo?
Okay, so socioeconomic is like 2 words combined.
Yes.
Social and economic. So social, where we are staying, economic, our source of income, whatever we are doing. Indeed, it's true. Some parents cannot even feed. But then I always champion this cause that no matter what you are eating or what you are doing, even if it is kenke fish with pepper, you add some extra vegetables and fruits, we are good to go. You don't really need to prepare fried rice and all those things for your children for you to think that you are feeding your child well. So social economy, like you can see that in Africa and Ghana, poverty is really high here. And so it really impacts the nutrition status of children and even their parents, joke of other siblings. So in some homes, you can see like they have 3 children, One is 5 years, one is 1 year, one is 10 years, and they will surround one bowl and eat. Definitely the 10 years will eat more than the 1 year. So when it happens like that, you are directly and indirectly affecting that 1 year child and the 5 years child. So it's ideally that no matter the money that you have, or even if you don't have enough, give 1 year children their own food. So like if you have 3 children, all of them are 1 years, no problem. Just give them individual foods. Like, okay, so the fufu, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. You don't need to let everybody sit around. Other than that, the fastest one, that one we call it survival of the fittest. We eat it. And because of poverty, most of our indigenous meals have protein base and other nutrients that helps. So if you get those staples like your normal rice with your egg, beans, these are some of the nutrients the children need. So make sure you inculcate them in their foods. Give every child their individual food. Don't let them share a food.
But that is also a problem, because growing up, you could see that if you eat with your siblings, it's foster kind of love, relationship, and stuff.
I know, right?
And so now you give me food. You are teaching me how to do things alone without caring for others.
It's not really so. We can have other things that you can do together as a family to foster the unity and love. But when it comes to meals, for the sake of the growth of the children, give them individually. Because then, as I said, survival of the fittest. If all of us should go around their food right now, me I eat fast, like Ronki, me fan chill, I will take more of it. So imagine children who are also fast. They will take all the food in there and they leave those who are not even fast enough to eat. So when it happens like that, you are really starving them in a way you don't know. You will think that you've given them food, but some are hungry.
All right, so maybe do you currently have some strategies in place to combat this malnutrition in children?
We have ways. Education is one. Communities, we go to communities, they give education, TV, television, as we are doing, and Ghana Health Service also do others. When they are growing up, they go to schools, and that's when they give them the vitamins. I don't know if you were given. You go as a red, then they put it in your tank. Yes.
At what age?
Supplement. It starts from we have 5 years too. So
I don't remember.
Oh,
okay, it's been a while.
Maybe I was given, but I don't know. You know, I'm a fresh boy, so certainly I was given.
So normally for the preschoolers, you find the nurses coming there, and I remember they used to come to our school, and one day they came and I thought they were coming to inject us, so I had to run away from class. But then they were come to give us vitamin supplements. Yes.
So did they still do it?
Yes, I did it. I came back to the class.
I mean, currently, do they still go to schools?
Yes, they still do it.
Oh, okay.
They're still in the system. And that's why we keep on advocating for the exclusive breastfeeding, introducing complementary feeding at the right time and what you should do. We are more into our local dishes because they have a lot of nutrients. They are available to us. You can even grow them at your backyard garden. We are not more into the modernized things. No, we are promoting our local food, and it has a lot of nutrients. And when you grow tomatoes, onion, okra, kotomre at your backyard garden, it's for you. And you know the fertilizer content you're even using, because you know that, okay, I'll not use plenty, I'm not even using any fertilizer at all. So whatever you are taking is very healthy. So when you grow all these things at your backyard, it helps you, even economically, it even helps you. So when you go to your garden and you know that, oh, whatever I have is not enough, okay, let me add up with 5 to this and let me get something from the market, and that is it. You are good to go. So to our people that we are thinking that we need more of the modernized food, the more of the fried stuffs and all the juicy stuff, it's not advisable. We like our homemade dishes, our local foods. We advocate for that 100%. Yes.
Is it the reason why you tend to condemn other foods and you call them junk food and stuff?
We are not.
Is it because you want to promote your local food?
No, we are not condemning any food. But it's just that when we take the nutritional content in it, when you eat it, what you will get from it, are you getting the right thing from it? Are you not getting the right thing from it? We are not condemning anybody, but then it's there. When we take our local foods, when you take banku with your light soup and fish, you are good to go. Abenkwan, the day you don't have money, you can cook beans and put it in the palm nut soup with your banku, with your fufu, with your rice, and you are good to go.
The day you don't have money.
For them, for those, because some people usually
so if you
think,
have money, you don't eat abenkwan and
oh
beans.
no, for me it's very good. But some people usually think that maybe when you're making soup, you're making other things. You don't have the cow meat, the goat meat, the fish. You have not made soup, but that is not the case because if you are preparing palm nut soup and you have beans in there, we are good to go. Yes.
Right. So, Philo, what nutritional interventions are most effective in treating malnutrition in children?
When a child is malnourished and being sent to the hospital, we do our assessment and then we get to know whether the child is severely malnourished or moderately malnourished. Now, when a child is severely and moderate, we start with some formulas when they come to IPD, that is inpatient, when they are admitted. And when they are being discharged, we have some things that we give to them as they do. Some is education, but then I'll give for Mabel for her to throw more light on the feeds that we give them when they are in the ward and when they are also going home, like the F175.
Okay. So when you come as an inpatient, we assess you. We have guidelines we also use. So when we assess you and you are okay, that's okay. But if you are not okay, then we start with certain formulas. I'll just say them because that's the guideline we use at the hospital. We have formula F75, we have formula 100, we have formula 100 dilutes, we have RUTF, ready to use therapeutic food. A lot of people know it as plumpy nuts. Yes, so we have all those things to help the child get better in the hospital, but then we move from that stage to home foods. When you go home, what are you going to eat? Because when you leave the hospital, you are going home, and when you go home, what are you going to eat? So then we also begin the education. So when you come to the hospital, we have guidelines we will use for you, but then after taking care of you, when you are let out of the hospital, what will you do at home? That is when we start our counseling. Yes.
But let me take you back to the breastfeeding thing that we were discussing. Parents who are unable to use that 6 months exclusive, they buy formula, something from the store. Is it also good?
Infant formulas.
The infant formulas, we are not here to condemn or commend them. It depends. Some parents or some mothers are not able to produce breast milk. That is why the infant formula came. But some mothers, they are able to produce breast milk, but then because of societal pressure, they tend to that. But even with the infant formulas, we have guidelines, we have measurements, we have even the amount of water you should use to dilute the number of scoops you have taken to even give your child, and how many times in a day. So somebody can think, I've bought the infant formula and I'm just giving it to my child. But then even with the quantities, how many times, even the amount of water to dilute it with the infant formula is a problem. And when we are not only looking at the cost, because now it's also expensive. Apart from looking at the cost, hygiene is one. Because immediately you don't clean your utensils that you are using to prepare the formula well, you introduce bacteria into the child's system, and your child starts to run diarrhea, starts to vomit, run temperature, and your child is sick, and your child is not going to take food. Then you bring your child to us. Another cost and your time. Yes,
so parents who cannot also afford, who don't also have time to breastfeed their ward, what should they do?
We have so you can also express so from your breast. So we advise you use lubricant, oil or shea butter, massage your breast, Then we will teach you how
the whole
to
breast or just
the whole breast.
Okay.
So it's like a pump. When we were young, or when we go to the rural areas, we have the pump that you would use your hands like this. I don't know if you remember that pump.
Yeah, the pipe,
the
kind of
borehole.
borehole.
Good, the borehole. So that is how. Let's relate it to it. So that's how the breast, before the child, their breast can even come, you have to pump it. So even the children, when they are at their breast and they are latching, they suck for a while before the milk comes. Yes.
So when you use that, what did you say? Shea butter.
Shea butter or oil, something oil
when
to
you
help you
massage
the breast before you
it
start.
Means you are pumping.
Yeah, like you are stimulating your mind that you are come to.
Okay.
Yes. So with that, we will teach you how to express it, what to do, how to hold it, and how to even store your breast milk, so that when you are not around, you have left your child in the care of someone, the person can still feed the breast milk whilst you are not around. And it's still the same breast milk. We didn't buy formula.
I think that is better in a way than the formula that you were talking about.
Because even the formula, one for you, one for me, if you leave it to me, the formula is also nice. So when I see when I take
adult also.
Oh
yes, I
has
remember
been
my
trending.
sister's child. We were going to school, some therapy in my mouth.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Yes. The fathers do that a lot. You can ask them.
When you leave for them to feed the child, they will be eating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had a case, or it was viral some time ago, when a mother left the child in the care of a house girl to feed, not knowing anytime the mother leaves the child in the care of the lady, the woman consumes most of whatever is available and starves the child.
Oh.
Yeah, so the child began to lose, and the mother didn't understand until they visited their CCTV footage. Yes, and it is real. So if it is the breast milk, I'm not sure like you would want to. And it's available, you don't buy, you don't have to prepare.
But they have the same taste.
No. Definitely not.
Yes. I thought they have the same.
No, the formula is sweeter.
All right, so you're still watching Cafdil TV. Healthcare is the program, and we are discussing malnutrition in children. Like I've said, I hope that you've started following us, or you've started sharing all this for your followers to also have this education. And most of the children from age 6 or from age 2, now we even have nursery.
Yeah.
They take, I think, 6-8 months thereafter. Yeah. So which means when your child start going to school from that age till GHS and whatever. Now we also have what we call school feeding and stuff, which means they eat there. So school play a lot of roles in this nutrition aspects.
Yeah.
So let's see, how can school contribute to improving, child nutrition? Because you go to some schools, even though not the teachers don't prepare the food.
Yeah.
They have caterers. But you go to some schools and you see the kind of food the children are eating. You don't know what kind of nutrient they are adding. So how can the school also contribute?
Okay, I will take this one because we were working on a project like that. The school feeding, initially the government was paying like 80 pesos per child, and now it's 1 cedi 50 pesos. So imagine a child being fed 1 cedi 50 pesos. Imagine the amount of food they will give. So then the caterers, they really have to get a way to make sure that they get something for the children. Other than that, the children will be disappointed. And I can tell you that some children go to school because of the school feeding. Yeah, when they started, it was so nice. I think I benefited. Yeah, I benefited some at my primary school before I left that school. And it was so nice. But then, you see, it's not really the problem or the burden of the government, because he has a lot of things. The government has a lot of things to take care of. And if there should be funding to fund this school feeding to be so good. Because the foods that the school feeding are giving, I cannot say they'll give all the nutrients the children need for that time. No. So as parents, you see, most of the parents, the ones that their children are in the government school, they'll be like, and say, "Call, but more school feeding area, and they'll give the children only morning meal pay." That is not good enough. Give the child some money or extra lunch food, so that in case, I mean, it's not in case the school feeding food will not satisfy the child, so that afterwards the child can also take that food. Other than if you are really dependent on the school feeding, your child will be malnourished and you will not know. Yeah.
And we can also implement school backyard gardens. Yeah, because if your child is coming to school and you think when your child comes it's going to solely depend on the school feeding program, then you as a parent, you are also not playing your part, because at this point I would also say all of us, our hands are tied. So the money we have been given as a caterer, that is what I'm also going to provide for your child.
Exactly.
So you don't put all your hopes in the school feeding program. They can also initiate the backyard garden, because if you have certain things there, when they bring it, you top up so that you know how best to even go about whatever you are preparing.
Lower primary?
It can be if the backyard, if they have like a very big plot or whatever around, whatever is there, they can know how to budget it.
Because
and add it
lower
to it.
primary school, those that are fed are from 6, 7,
Class
8.
6. Okay.
It's classes.
Yeah, they feed. Okay, I don't know for now.
Up to class 6.
Yes, that was then, but I don't know.
So 6, class 1, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11 years boy. And you tell him to go and do backyard.
Oh.
Is it possible?
The way when you come to school, you come and sweep. Where we have time. We have time, we do those things. When you come to school, it's your duty that the class that you are come to sit down to study in, you will sweep, and the chair you are come to sit down on, you will clean it. Then, we are having this back here, because they are children, you communicate with that. We also understand. It's all about communication, because if you say this 11 years doesn't mean the child is too good not to be taught what is right. So you communicate, you make them know the benefits of the backyard garden they are getting, and not in a form of punishment or because of that you are going to use that to no. You can even employ people or parents who are willing to spend that time at the school farm to help produce food for their children to eat at school. That is okay. That is okay.
All right. So I want to take you back again. My concentration now is on the early childhood nutrition. So I want to know what role do that breastfeeding itself play? Because I'm very interested. Breastfeeding and early childhood that nutrition play in preventing malnutrition. So
I would say the breast milk that comes normally is in two forms. We have the one that when it starts coming, we call it hind milk. It's watery in nature. Then when the child suckles for a while, the one that comes is called fore milk. It's also white in nature. Good. So that is one. It gives the child the energy the child needs, adequate energy, the water the child needs. Whatever the breast milk has been designed in a way to give that child that correct amount of energy the child needs to develop the system.
Yeah.
But initially, when the child comes out, the breast milk that comes is called colostrum. Some of them call it dirty milk. It's yellow in color. When the child takes it in, it protects the child against diseases. It also serves as a purgative. So it flushes down the system of the child. And with that, when they start breastfeeding and breastfeeding is going on well, we don't even want to add medicine. Because if breastfeeding is done well, your child will be healthy, and the child won't even fall sick for you to be taking the child to the hospital. Because at this stage, this is where the child is developing, not only outside, but inwardly. So when you give the child that breast milk, it's right from your breast. It can't be contaminated unless you, the mother, you are in quotes, you are unkept. But if you are kept, you know that right from the go, whatever you are giving your child, it has the adequate amount of nutrients, protein, water is going to protect your child. Everything you need is in there, and you are giving it to your child, which is going to help your child for the first 6 months. First 6 months of the child, yes, it's just going to help the child grow very well and be fine. Before at the 6 months, then you start complementary feeding. That is when you introduce our home food to the child. Then you top up with the breast milk.
Without spices?
Without spices, without salt, sugar. People are adding honey, dates to sweeten the food.
They say honey would, I think then, something.
But then no, it's not.
Yes,
it's not healthy.
There's nothing in it.
There's something in it, but not that stage that they are child.
So at what age that a child should begin to eat honey and stuff?
No. The breast milk, it has a lot of nutrients in it, and it's like when you take that component, it has everything a child would need. Initially, I thought that studies have shown that children who are breastfed have higher. At that point, they don't have honey. They didn't take honey.
So after breastfeeding, can you give your child honey?
No.
Because I know some parents without honey, it seems like they've lost everything.
I know they are feeling for their child. Like mothers are feeling for their child. The food is not sweet. Okay. That's the notion behind it. But then the food is not sweet, but it's also not healthy for the child. And when a child begins to have taste in their mouth, when the child is growing, the taste builds up.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you get to know some children are so into sweets, so into candies, and when they are taking just maybe 2 soup ladles of porridge, the amount of sugar or whatever the child will pour in, the adult is like, you'll be amazed.
Yes, sure.
Because they were introduced like very early.
Introduced to sugars
very early. So they know it's sweet. So right from the go, they pick. So we advise that when it's dates, honey, sugar, please omit it from the child's food. When the child gets to a certain point, you can start introducing it. But as it stands now, when we get to the 6 months and we start our complementary feeding, we beg you, just start with what we counsel you on and give it to the child. It won't harm the child. Yes, please.
All right. So you're still watching Cafdil Healthcare here on Cafdil Television, and we are discussing malnutrition in children. And so I hope you are learning a lot. And not only the children, no, you yourself eat well. So especially if you are pregnant, whatever you eat affects your child in your womb. So eat well for yourself. And so your health is very important. Our health is our wealth. If you don't have good health, you don't have, what do you call it? You know the consequences, right? And prevention, they say, is better than cure. So we always have to listen to this and prevent ourselves from contracting any diseases. Let's come to, you see, most of the families or children are from low income family, and so this thing affects them a lot. So how can we ensure that children from that family have access to nutrition or nutritional food?
Okay, and one way we can ensure that children from low-income families have nutritious meals is what Mabel was talking about, backyard garden. In fact, if you don't have the money to go and buy cassava, you can start some small farming at your backyard or wherever you want to farm. You can get your cassava, you can get your staple fruits or our local meals and then eat. And the local meals, just get your, like if it is your rice, cassava, bangkun, or whatever it is, get your fish, your egg. So you can do all this. You can start rearing chicken, goats, snails. I mean, if you all have all those things, if your chicken is ready for it to be chewed, you just kill the chicken and we all share. If the egg is there, give it. If it's beans, so like you do contour stew with beans, you add your rice to it. These are all ways that you can do to make sure that children from low income families. Other than that, there's no way that a mother can buy. So if you start with whatever you have around, I think it will help us so much. Yeah.
Well, maybe you see some of them when the symptoms begin to pop up, they may attribute it to different things. Misconception about malnutrition. Do you have some, and how can we debunk those things?
So there is a notion that malnutrition is only for poor people, but that's not true, because when we are doing our education, we use our local dishes to do that education, and we tend to even know that those who don't really have and also have farm at their backyard garden are at a certain advantage than even those who don't have those things. So let me run through this one. We have our protein foods. We get some from plants and we get some from animals. Agushi is a protein. Rere is a protein. Granite is a protein. Beans is a protein. So if you are having this and you are going to add it to your stew that you are preparing, are you poor?
No.
So you are not poor. Let's say you have omitted fish, you have omitted egg, you don't have the meat, but then you are using agushi to prepare stew, kontomire stew, and you have beans in there. That over there, that point, as I'm imagining it, it's a very nutritious meal.
You see it to be nutritious.
Very nutritious.
But our mind will say, tell you
it's not.
It's because you don't have money. That's you prepare this without fish.
Yes, and you have that nutritious meal over there. When we were like young, very young, my grandmother, I didn't like beans. I didn't start to like beans. So my grandmother found ways to incorporate the beans in my food, and I ate it without myself knowing. Some children are there, when they take it, they get reaction. That is fine. Maybe you feed the first time, second time, third time. The child keeps on getting reaction. Fine. You stop it. Good. Some of the children, they can take it in, and then their system will also bring it out. That is also fine. But then if it goes in and it's not coming out, that means it can stay in there. So we find ways to incorporate that without the person even seeing it, because we have some people will be like, oh, my child doesn't like vegetables. But then when it's blended and used to prepare the stew, the child won't know that there was carrots in the stew, and the child will eat the stew. Be like, mommy, the stew is nice, but there was carrots in there, and you have fed your child with. And the onion, tomato is also vegetable. So I don't know why people have the notion that it's only carrots, cabbage, cucumber, the only types of vegetables. The one that if you go and buy wache, they put on it, that's what we see to be. Onion, tomatoes is also a type of vegetable. So.
You see, some parents don't see the benefit of investing in nutrition or nutrition. They don't see the long-term benefits in investing. So tell us, what are the long-term benefits of investing in child nutrition program like that? Because most of the parents don't see if I invest in this, I will rather invest in education, I will invest in different things altogether, but forgetting that if the parent also invest in the child nutrition, the person will grow well, and stuff. So what are some of those things? So the parents watching us can also know the importance that if we invest in the child nutrition, this is what they're going to get.
Lovely parents, right? So if you are going to invest in education and your child is ill, keeps getting ill, and is always at the hospital, the education that you're investing in is wasted. But then when you feed your child well, if the child doesn't even eat well, it affects how well the child can memorize things, be attentive in class, can concentrate, and even learn. That is even one. So if you are going to only invest in education and leave the nutritional aspects, I've been sending my child to one of the best schools. My child is not performing. You made a mistake because you only concentrated on education is good, but then you left the nutritional aspects of it. Then when it comes to economic factor, especially when we start from exclusive breastfeeding, it saves you that burden of the infant formula foods. It saves you that because you're not going to buy. It also saves you, the mother, the time because you have to wake up, clean the things you are going to use. You also have to put them in lukewarm water. You are preventing infection. But the breast milk, when you have breastfed for the day and you have to still breastfeed, if you have a warm towel, you just clean it, use the towel to clean around your breast. It goes into the child's mouth and we are good to go. You don't have to stand up and go to the kitchen. It's at a comfort. And even to the mother, when the child is breastfeeding, it helps the mother. They form a kind of bond, the two of them. And when they are breastfeeding to the uterus, the womb, it also contracts for the mother too. So it has its own benefits. So when you feed your child well, it helps them grow well physically. They look fine physically. And when it comes to the cognitive aspect too, they become very well. When it comes to brain development, having retentive memory, paying attention, concentrating in class too, it helps them both ways.
Yeah, our time is up. But you see, some fathers, as soon as the mother gives birth, it doesn't want the mother to breastfeed the child with the notion that and that kind of thing, and originally BBF, that kind of thing. So what will you tell them, those fathers? Dear because this is it's not a story. It's something that I know, Angasa.
It's true. So with that, please let the woman breastfeed. It's going to help your child. And the breast, with time, is cells.
Yeah.
It's made up of cells and muscles. With time, and when we are growing up, it's the strength it has also reduces. So with time, and in quotes, some women have larger breasts, others too are cute. Everybody is different. So even with time, when the breast is firm and a little bit big, with time when the muscles are getting tired, it drops. Apart from people who naturally have big breasts, which good. But apart from that, even with time, the body
so it doesn't want it to go drop early.
Oh, but not at the expense of the child. I mean, the child is always your child should be the so dear lovely fathers, please, breast and breast milk are for children. When the child grows, then the breast becomes yours.
Yes, even before the child was born, the breast was yours. So as the child has come, for the first 2 years, 1.5 years, please, you just give us that time, because after that time, I can't go to my mom. Right now, as I'm sitting here, I can't go to my mom and be like, Mommy, I want to.
No.
It's going to be some way. But my father can still go and be like, Mrs. Mason, I want to. So,
right,
yes.
Okay, our time is. So what are you leaving with our viewers?
Please, our lovely mothers and fathers. Mothers are also stressed at a point. So fathers should be there, be their backbone, because sometimes they need that support. They are tired. So fathers should also be there. In as much as we are telling the mothers this, mothers that, they need the fathers to also help them. And whatever we have said on this show today, we are hoping that we adhere to it and it will be well for us.
Philo?
Okay, so my last word is that do well to send your child to weighing. We call it CWC, but now look how we call it weighing. Bomazana for Obanoko weighing, bra or semo, Busumi be a fanoko. Ekwa bisa and some ask questions about the child's weight and how the child is doing, and let them refer you to a nutritionist or dietitian. Thank you.
All right, this is where the show, the time will something that something that you said is something that I mean, okay, this is where time will allow us to be with you. Thanks for watching, and like I said, if you want to support us, the number, don't forget, you can call or you can send it through. Now, I think it is Cafdil television that will come. Yeah, when you do that, do so. Thanks for watching. Thank you, all the crew. And you heard or you saw Mabel and Philomena. Mabel Mensah is a dietetic in 10, and Philomena Amoisi also dietetic intern at Cape Coast City Hospital. Thanks so much for coming.
Okay,
Thank you for watching. Same time next week. God be with you.
Moto